Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back David Icke.
Thank you. 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 Look at the muck in here. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me about the shirt. The other one smells like a wrestler's jockstrap, you know. After all this time, too much information, Dave. I know. What I want to finish on is looking at what's coming from a point of view of emerging from this crap. In other words, emerging from the mind prison that we've been put into, and therefore creating a reality that we'd rather have compared with the reality that we've been living. And breaking the spell is actually pretty much sums it up, because it is a spell in many ways, if you want to use that symbolism. Our minds have been locked in to a range of perception that gives us the impression that we are limited, that we are poor little Joe Public, I've got no power, and all the rest of it. And that's exactly where people manipulating a mass of people want us to be. And when we're looking at ways out of this, Einstein's quote, which is in many forms, but this is a summary of it, encapsulates what we're looking at. You cannot solve problems with the same level of consciousness that created them. Now, what we have in the world is a series of problems created, and then they'll change a political party or they'll move another dark suit in from somewhere else, but they're of the same level of consciousness as those who created the problem, so the problem just goes on getting compounded because we've not reached that level of going beyond that and looking at it from another direction and seeing a way to change what we want to change. So the door is spinning round in Downing Street in the White House, but no matter what it looks like, the same level of consciousness is coming in and out, and so nothing changes. It cannot. And that consciousness is from the consciousness of division, of seeing everything as a partness and all the rest of it, which is the consciousness that's been in power and has been manipulated among humanity to have and to manifest reality from that perspective, into a oneness that understands that we're all one consciousness, we're all one energy, all one mind, and therefore all these divisions between us through which we're divided and ruled are just illusions. You know, if someone got a baseball bat and started smacking themselves round the head with it, we would call that crazy, madness, insane. But that's what we're doing with the conflict in Palestine, in Iraq, in Second World War. We're one consciousness that's been set at war with itself. And when I say, and again, I talk about one consciousness, I'm not talking about one clone kind of bland, everyone the same consciousness. Absolutely the opposite of that. And one way of seeing how much we've come along the road to understanding this idea of connection and expressing the uniqueness of all possibility is how much we do that, and how much we are clone-like, just following the one in front, sticking to the norms, never stepping out of line. Now, we've become clone-like, not because of oneness, we're all the same, because that's not what oneness is about, but because we have disconnected from that infinity of all possibility, which we can play with and move around and get different points of observation from, and we're just playing and expressing and getting infinite joy from the infinite possibility that's there, and instead we've allowed ourselves to be suppressed into a fractional area of possibility. You know, so that's when we become clone-like. That's when we all act the same. That's when we become sheep. There's no contradiction between oneness and infinite variety, infinite diversity, which is what oneness is. So we can open our minds to multidimensional levels of awareness. It doesn't mean we're going to psychically bloody see everything. Oh, I've just seen someone over there, look, and all that stuff. But we are accessing that level of awareness, and therefore our point of observation of this reality is coming not from in this world. When you're in this world and of it, then you're buggered, really, because all you've got is this world to tell you what reality is and who you are. When you open your consciousness and move your point of observation, you are in this world physically, at least as a projection, but you are not of it in terms of your point of observation. And they're the people that stand out in society. They're the ones that people who are in this mode say, you're crazy, you're mad. No, he's different, because he's got a different point of observation to you. That's all it is. We're the same, but with different point of observation within infinity. There was a time when even this reality, I would say, we had this sense of oneness, this sense of connection, celebrating uniqueness, and joyous in diversity. But slowly, surely, maybe quicker than slowly and surely, our minds have been taken over and encased in this bubble, this disconnection from the great infinite into this body consciousness. And of course, when people come into this world now as what we call babies, and their consciousness enters this world, immediately the programming starts. Often it's parents programming children into the norms. Oh, you can't do that. What will the neighbors say? Oh, you can't do that. I want you to work in a bank. You've disappointed me. You want to go and walk in India. Well, be disappointed then. Sod off. You go and work in the bank. I'm off to India, mate. And this kind of symbolizes this picture from earlier in the War Memorial in Sydney, Australia, the way we've been encased and suppressed and therefore lived this false identity, this mask that I was talking about, of false identity. We are now being offered the opportunity, for not least for reasons I'll come to actually break through this. And this is not literally breaking through something. It's a vibrational freedom. Because once we open our minds and open this, because, I would say that the real Trinity ain't Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. It's left brain, right brain, heart, chakra, vortex, the center, the balance point. When these three things are working in unison, we have the balance of all possibility. We have the right brain connection out into the beyond. We have the access of creativity, of seeing a different spin on life, of uniqueness, of all these things. The left brain, which is here for a reason, decodes this stuff and brings it down into a structural level that we can deal with within this reality. And this is the balance point between the two, which takes us way, way out there into realms of understanding beyond words, beyond anything that we can understand through this level. And those three things working together, decoding reality, bring balance. This would never allow this to get involved in the stuff that we've been talking about, in control, in abuse, in war, in conflict. It wouldn't go there. If this is going to be used to function within this reality, it is on this and this terms, not on this term, on the terms of this isolated left brain consciousness that is isolated from the rest of existence, working in its own sub-world of structure and competition and all the rest of it. When these three things are working together, then we can decode reality in a way that the left brain alone could never even think about doing. And when we start to do that, when we start to open our minds, and all these phrases we use that absolutely encapsulate what we're talking about, when we open our minds and start to access and decode a much wider range of frequencies, suddenly the reality that we create, the way we see this reality and perceive it of what it is, just expands into a level of understanding that is just beyond anything we could imagine before when we're here, thinking everything's real and solid and apart and divided. And that's when the box goes on. The difference between the two is fantastic in terms of our perception of reality, and we are now in a process where this is taking place, where this box is coming off. More and more people, and the true nature of who we are is starting to be understood and expressed. When I started on this journey talking about some of this stuff, not like as much as I am now, but in the same themes, it was like, get me a wall, I'll give you an impression. No one wanted to know. It was crazy and all the rest of it. But over the last 20 years, I've almost been a barometer of it. I have seen this incredible change where more and more people are expanding their consciousness and going, whoa, I can see it now. Why couldn't I see it before? Because you weren't decoding reality in a way that you could see it. You were stuck in the box, stuck in the vibrational box where we all start out. And talking of boxes, these entities, this force that seeks to control us, is not an all-knowing, all-powerful, all-wise force. It is able to control us only by putting us in a smaller box than it is in. That's only the way it can do it. Anyone who wants control over people, anyone who is so insecure that they need control over people, because there's nothing more that absolutely shows blatant insecurity, extreme insecurity, than wanting to control other people and wanting to know the outcome of everything before the game starts. That's insecurity. Secure people, they kind of, okay, it turns out, that's fine. But I'm just going to enjoy the moment and live the moment. No. Insecure people, no. How's it going to turn out? All the rest of it. And so these people are desperately insecure. And